Right then, welcome back to the channel. United have beaten Leicester 3-0, clean sheet, some pretty good individual performances, everything to be happy about. No negatives, right? No, not really. We can't have nice things, obviously. The result, and to a greater or lesser degree, the performance is a massive positive going into the international break now. United have got a long time off before we next play, and we don't even play when everyone else plays because we don't play until the Tuesday night, which may be a good thing. I would expect to see Mason Mount back by then. There might be some other injuries that have resolved by then, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of some of the other negatives. As at the time of recording, I don't know what's happened with Ayden Heaven, but the fact they didn't show a replay, the fact he went down and was waving immediately, it don't look good. That's an absolute nightmare situation because he was having another really strong game. He was doing excellent in his 1v1 defending. He was winning lots of tackles. He was composed and confident on the ball. It was another real good performance. And I don't think he's, judging by what I saw, I think it's either an ankle or a shin break. It looked awful. And the reaction of everyone else and how fast he got subbed, that tells me that that's not a minor injury. So that's a real cloud over what was a pretty good performance. And I'm only saying pretty good performance because I think it takes two to tango. And Leicester are really bad. Like, let's not sugarcoat this and pretend that we've just put in like a vintage United performance. We played all right. We did, right? And we didn't really need to play any better than all right to win 3-0. That's how bad they were. They still caused us some issues. Lindelof, I don't think, looked at the races, to be honest with you. I thought he still looked like he was a little bit behind. I thought De Ligt did sensational. Again, he's playing with Lindelof on one side, Ayden Heaven, who's obviously had a good game, but still learning his craft, still going to be prone to all sorts of mistakes. Not that he made any, but you got to be thinking, as the main centre-half in that back three, you've got to be thinking, there's a good chance he's going to make a mistake here. And against someone like Jamie Vardy, you've got someone that is going to punish you if you make mistakes. I'm surprised he tried to line up against Lindelof. Maybe he thought his pace was going to be the asset that got him through rather than trying to pick on, if you like, Ayden Heaven. Or maybe he just thought Ayden Heaven had the physical upper hand on him and thought, I ain't going to bother, I'll try and get some change out of Victor Lindelof. In midfield, it didn't necessarily warrant a good game from Ugarte, and I think he had a relatively ordinary performance, but it was nice to see him back in the team and getting some minutes. Alongside him, Bruno Fernandes, 2 assists and a goal. Normal. He's just set this bar of just raw productivity and made it normal, and that shouldn't be normalised. It's genuinely ridiculous. Do you know what it reminds me of? There needs to be a better word than clutch because it's an Americanism that it doesn't come natural to me. So there needs to be a better word than clutch. Can anyone suggest me a better word than clutch? It's just like reliability in big moments. When you need him to step up, he steps up. And I do not say this lightly. It reminds me of Cantona in 97, when it's like you get into the 85th minute, Cantona 1-0, Cantona 1-0, Cantona 1-0. He just delivered. And he was surrounded by good players in 97. Bruno's not. He's certainly not got the characters around him as well. So, Roy Keane rarely misses. I would almost say never misses. But he missed. When he decided to just go after Bruno Fernandes. I don't know why. You know, Roy Keane does Roy Keane things, and if he gets something in his head, he's having it. But he was wrong on Bruno. At the time that he went for him, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Like I said at the time, I can understand if you don't think he's the ideal captain material. And I think Roy Keane's got every single right to have an opinion on whether or not Bruno Fernandes is genuine captain material. But Roy Keane would have loved playing with him because he's a man that works hard and he delivers. And you can talk about the petulance all day long. Ryan Giggs was petulant, right? People forget that. Ryan Giggs, if he didn't pass it straight to him, would be throwing his hands in the air. But he delivered. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he first came, petulant, but he delivered. Keane didn't have too long with Wayne Rooney, but Wayne Rooney, there was a petulance about Wayne Rooney early doors as well. It took him a while to start settling down. He was a hothead, right? And it's different, but it's still petulant. And Roy Keane loved him. So I'm not having that Roy Keane wouldn't like Bruno Fernandes as a player. I kind of get what he's saying. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand what he's saying when he talks about him as a captain. But it was just the wrong target at the wrong time. But if he did it in an attempt to galvanise him and make him go, I'll fucking show you, Roy. Wow. Because just the levels that Bruno has produced in recent weeks has been nothing short of absolutely sensational. And I got to say fair play to Ruben Amorim. We all looked at that team. There was a lot of group chats that I was in was going, no fucking Xerxes, what's going on? But we didn't need him. And he still got a run out towards the end there. We saw Collier come on and do a serviceable shift. Harry Amas, congratulations on your debut. That's been a long time coming. So very pleased to see Harry Amas given an opportunity. Obviously, Dorgu's going to be back for that Forest game now. That was his last game suspended tonight. So whether or not Amas will be featuring, I really don't know, because I think it's left wing back that suits him rather than left side centre half. I would expect that means that Mazraoui is going to get locked off into left side centre half while Ayden Heaven gets figured out and sorted out. We see Garnacho scoring a goal. He had a lot more shots tonight. In fact, I've not even looked at did he actually create for anybody else? I don't really remember him creating for anybody else. His shots weren't bad. I think they were all on target, actually. No, he didn't create for anybody else tonight. So that was a little bit of a deviation from where he's been in recent weeks. He was coming in and shooting pretty low-value shots. He did all right for his goal, and I'm happy that he's got his goal. And also Rasmus Højlund as well. Real difficult shot, that. And good confidence to shoot and not take an extra touch or try and cut inside from where he shot it. Good pass from Bruno. He's latched onto it. And he's managed to get himself a goal. First goal in 22 games. And he's got to do more. Simple as that. You've got to use this now. Little bit of a confidence booster. He's going to play till the end of the season because there's just nobody else to play. So if he's playing, you want to see him doing well, don't you? So he's got a goal. Same with Garnacho. You've got your goals now. Start playing for the rest of the team. Start working hard for the rest of the team. And start doing the things that you're in the team to do. Score goals. And people will stop talking about you. The performances cover up a lot of mistakes. You can get away. Erling Haaland gets away with doing cock all in games, but he scores. Mo Salah gets away with doing fuck all in games, but he scores. He scores a lot. If you score, people will forgive you. And maybe that's a little bit of what's going on with Bruno Fernandes at times as well, because he is so productive. He isn't the person that he is not Rodri. He's a totally different player to him. He's in the team to do a different job, and he does that job, and he does it bloody regularly and consistently, and he turns up week in, week out, and he's never injured. I think Bruno needs a little bit more respect. Scoring goals is hard to do, and he scores, and he creates a lot of chances. People just need to start putting them away, and United wouldn't be in the position that we are in. But loads of positives today. One massive negative in Ayden Heaven. Hope it's not as bad as I think it is, but I think it is as bad as we think it is. Either way, that's it from me. But before I go, I just want to say, nice one to everyone. I posted something on Facebook and Instagram earlier. If you want to go and take a look at it, go and take a look at it. But my intention with that was, I feel like people show a lot of highlights only on social media. And there's a lot of inauthenticity on social media. And I don't like the smell of that. And I don't like the taste of that. And I always try to be authentically me. I don't do things that I think are trendy. And I don't do things just for the sake of doing them. I tell you how I feel. And frequently we disagree, okay? But I won't go with the flow just because I think that's what people want to hear. And I think that you guys, for the most part, tune in because you feel like you're going to get some honesty. And honesty means a hell of a lot to me. It's a massive thing, core thing to me is honesty and integrity. So while I've been sharing the success of the weight loss journey that I've been on and my fitness journey that I've been on and even the mental health journey that I've been on, you have to show the negative sides in that as well. So I've done a post on there today and the intention was, look, I've had a real fucking rough week. What's the matter? Nothing, right? Genuinely. Like, everything's going great. Work's going great. Personal life's going great. Everything, like, all the boxes are ticked. There's no reasons why I should be in a dark mood, but I'm in a dark mood. So I just wanted to be honest about that. And I don't know if some of that's the weather. I feel like there's a lot of people in, like, February and March get really depressed. You know, it's a long time without seeing, like, consistent sunlight if you live in the UK or Northern Europe. And that's probably had a massive impact on me, and it probably had an impact on a lot of you guys as well. And judging by the replies, people have found it quite resonating. So I'm not going to be able to reply to every single person because there's been literally hundreds of replies. But I just wanted to put it out there and just say, look, I try and show everything because honesty is important to me and the whole picture is important to me. And I know this is a post-match review and it's not necessarily the place for it, but I'm not going to be going live, I don't think, this week. And as you'll see in the post, you know, I'm trying not to do a lot of content because I got to take a little bit of time away from that. That being said, I am going to be back tomorrow with 5 things. I am going to be doing player ratings. I have got a few things planned for back end of the week because it's international break and, well, we've got to keep the fucking content going. And I have also decided to resurrect the Stephen Howson podcast as well. So it won't be a football one, but there is a post on my Instagram if you'd like to go and get involved in that, where I've asked for your guest recommendations, who you would like to see me get in the mix with. I've got the first 30 that I want on written down. I haven't approached any of them yet. I'm looking to start posting those come about June. The channel is the Stephen Howson podcast. You can find it on YouTube. There is one video on there at the moment, which is me and Berbatov. Like I said, it won't necessarily be a football podcast. The first 10 guests that I've written down, not necessarily booked, but the first 10 planned guests are an MMA fighter, a radio and TV guy, an author, a singer, a historian, a soldier, a YouTuber, a footballer, a CrossFit athlete, and a boxer. So it's people that I want to sit down with, people that I want to have conversations with, people that I am inspired by, that I think have got a message that's worth sharing. And I hope that people find it equally as engaging and entertaining. Again, I'm not necessarily going to be bringing in huge names. I don't know if I've got the pull for that. I'm going after what I find interesting. Hopefully some of you guys find that interesting at the same time, and we can have a good podcast with it. But I'd be interested to know who you guys think. On my stories, I've been sharing some of the replies to it, and it's good to see that people are on a lot of the same wavelengths. Like one of the sort of giddier names, not a big name on YouTube, certainly won't necessarily do views, but one guy I think is one of the most interesting guys on the planet ever is Ranulph Fiennes. I went to see him in a live show. He was literally one of the people that was on my list to do, and someone said, oh, what about him? 1,000,000% would love that. That would be my ideal guest, is that sort of guy, someone that's got something to say. But anyway, we are ending this little run of games. The Christmas period is kind of over now. You've had that little in-between of matches where you haven't had these international breaks. International break next weekend. The football that we actually give a shit about stops for a bit. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be sort of taking steps towards getting back up. But cheers, everyone. Go give us a follow on Insta or on Facebook if you want, and give us your opinions on that post, and also give us your thoughts about the Stephen Howson podcast as well, because come about June, we'll be hitting that quite hard. But cheers for tuning in. As always, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.